Whoa, did you see that car? I saw that car because I was paying attention. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out the video. Today's topic of discussion, and yes, it is a discussion, is do you commute on your bike? And the follow-up is I have several things that I've been noodling around that I do that might help others in commuting on their bikes. So I'm going to share those with you. There's another car coming. Yep. That's tip number one. Pay attention to your mirror. But anyway, the first question obviously is, do you commute on your bike? Now, to answer that, bikes here in America are more of a luxury than I think they are in the UK and elsewhere. So a lot of people keep their riding for the weekend, and there's nothing wrong with when or where you choose to ride. That is your choice. It's your motorcycle. I am not going to judge you. Personally, I ride as much as humanly possible, weather permitting. That said, I do have friends that they will not ride except on the weekends, or if they get a couple hours off and they can go play in the twisties. That's their jam. So good for them. I can appreciate that. Me, I just love the feeling of being on two wheels so much that I ride everywhere. And here's a follow-up question, and I'll answer it too. Does your riding style dictate the type of bike you ride? So, you know, some people treat a cruiser like a sport bike, so they have a performance bagger, or they'll have one of those sport touring bikes, and then other guys that have sport bikes will put a tank bag on and they'll ride to work. You know, it cuts both ways. Personally, I got into baggers because I wanted to go on longer rides and be more comfortable and be able to carry more stuff. You've seen me carry stuff. That very much makes me happy to be able to haul stuff and go long distances and be fairly comfortable the whole way there. So that's a little bit of what I do, and that's why I got into baggers. And with that comes obviously the ability to commute on the highway, as you have seen many times, in relative comfort. Plus, I'm easily seen because I have such a large bike. So I don't know if it's true, but I think other car drivers can see me better than if I was on a sport bike. That's just my personal opinion, but there is lots to consider when you're commuting. Dump trucks going slowly is but one of them. Along that, you've got all the other cars, right? So if you see me when I ride, I'll be in lane position 1. This is 1 to 3, left to right. And then that gives me a clear view around the corner. But then when I come up here, I might get into lane position 3 to see if there's any obstacles ahead. And I'll get back to the side, just so the car in front of me, if they hit, well, the car behind me rather, if they hit me, I'll glance off to the side, or they have an escape route. That is big, 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 big. You saw my video on escape routes, right? Always got to have an escape route. Head on a swivel, know your routes. That's that kind of name of the game here. And there's something rattling on the side of the bike, and I don't know what it is, but my mechanic says the bike's fine. So it's probably just something I'm hearing. Probably something in my saddlebag. Oh, my camera gear. But that is the first thing that I like to consider. Is moving around in the lane makes you more visible and gives you better visibility around everything. That's a benefit of taking a bike over taking a car, you know? And boy, you know, the sun's finally starting to burn this fog off, but don't try to adjust your television, folks. That's a lot of gray, and it's pretty uniform. And it's just fog. It's not supposed to rain today. In fact, weather.com said 2% chance of rain. So let's hope they're right. I don't really care if they are or not. It's like 70 degrees out. Yeah, it's 70.7. It's a beautiful day for a ride. We're here in the fall in the mid-Atlantic, and I just love this time of year. I will ride more to work in the spring and fall than any other time of year. It's just comfortable and easy breezy. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Other things to consider when you're commuting: rain gear, foul weather gear, and clothes to change into when you get to work. A lot of people will have dresses, or they will have suits that they have to wear at their office, and that is not proper motorcycling gear. Hell, I'm wearing jeans, which isn't motorcycle gear, but I am wearing my boots and my helmet and my gloves and my jacket, and you need a place to store that stuff at work. And if you can't take it in the building, you're going to need some sort of storage to keep it on your bike while you're in your office, even if you have a secure parking lot. Man, we are really meandering today. The traffic, not me. I'm staying on topic, yes. So, so that's one reason I like a bagger, because I got a place to put stuff. And on days when I got to do a lot of walking around the office, I will carry a pair of tennis shoes with me, and I'll leave them in a saddlebag. And then when I get to work, I'll put my boots in and take my shoes out and wear those in the office. It makes it more comfortable and easier to ride to work and back if you have the right attire. The other one I mentioned was gear. That's like rain gear. You know, you need a place to store your helmet, and if it rains while you're at work, you need proper rain gear or a liner for your jacket at a minimum. I usually carry one in a saddlebag, no big deal. But the other thing to consider is all the drivers. It's in the morning, they're tired, they haven't had their coffee yet. In fact, we need more coffee. Coffee break. Ooh, that's hot. So with the other cars on the road, you got to be mindful, because like I said, they haven't had their coffee yet. They're going to do stupid shit. And when they do stupid shit, you need to be prepared for it. So on a 2-lane road like this, especially in the morning, I like to have a good space buffer between me and the car in front of me and me and the car behind me. I will give them a gentle back off wave, just something low, and hey, back off a little bit. I need some space here. And around here, they're generally okay. You get some of those luxury car drivers that the road belongs to them and not anybody else. Kind of like your old buddy John here. And they lose their minds, and they gotta have your spot on the road. And you're like, no, dude. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. But, and I'm gonna ask this of anybody that rides, especially in the US on the highways. Hey, 15,300 miles. That's neat. If you ride on the highway, what lane do you prefer? Let's say a 4-lane each way highway. You in the left lane, which is number 1 in my book, number 2, number 3, or number 4? I'll tell you, I stick to the number 1 lane if at all possible, because you get less people merging into you because you're so far away from the right. And then you also have the escape route of the left shoulder. So those are the 2 reasons I ride in the left lane when possible. What are your reasons? I'm curious what other people think. So leave a comment below. And if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to boop the like button and comment, subscribe, and share this one with your friends. Even that guy down the street that only drives a truck or a car to work because he's too chicken to ride a motorcycle. I know, I'm such an ass. Anyway, so we talked about the other cars. We talked about some gear. What are some other considerations you have to keep in mind when you're commuting? One is your physical and mental state. If you're too stressed out or too tired, those are bad times to ride. And I'm guilty of having done that, ridden even though I was either tired or not really in the right mindset for it. But generally, I will avoid the bike if I'm not prepared to ride. Especially if you work late at night or early in the morning and you got to deal with wildlife, other drivers, and being woken up early in the morning, or you're up late at night and it's been a long day. Probably not the best time to be riding, really. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, they were all being silly or stupid, depending on your point of view. So I passed them all. That lady, I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's trying to get over with no, I don't know. She was drinking her coffee. You really got to pay attention to what the other people are doing when you're commuting. So you have to be alert. See, that's an example of having to be alert. And I took that opportunity to get in front of the dum-dums, as I like to call them. What else is there to consider about commuting? The cost. If your bike is expensive to service, like this one, Yeah, you know what? Those miles add up, and it's not a great cost savings. Granted, this gets like 40 mpgs, and my truck gets about 15, so that's a benefit. But then part of that gets eaten up when you factor in the service costs and the fact that it was like $27,000 sticker. So yeah, and he's on his phone and he was swerving in between the lanes. We're gonna avoid that red car. So I think that about does it. You got any tips that I missed? Is there something you'd like to share about your commuting experience? If so, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Check out this playlist and that video. I think that's where I put them. Anyway, either way, I'm too busy commuting to pay attention to left and right. Bye!